Hello again. I'm here with the fourth video. It's about Git and GitHub. Um, we started with the GitHub cheat sheet. I will bring it again. I was thinking that maybe it does not really make sense anymore to go further with the Git cheat sheet because the rest of the commands um, are not really useful for beginners. Therefore, I will not continue with the second page of the cheat sheet. I would like to continue with the other side of the Git, which is GitHub, and then try to connect the Git repositories to the GitHub. So I would like to, in this video, I would like to go first to having a GitHub account, looking at what we have it in the github.com, where we generate an account. Second part would be that to connect our local repository to the GitHub repository. And the third part is that to push our repository from our local repository to the GitHub, then it can be shared with the other users and we can have a collaboration with the others. The fourth one is also something useful, is that for when you want to clone from a GitHub repository which is online and it's you have the access to that, and then you wanted to have a copy of that in your local repository. So let's go with the first part. And the first part is about the GitHub account that we need to register and create a new repository. So first step is that to go to the GitHub website, github.com. I'm in here. So I would sign out. And here you can sign up. I think it needs some steps that you register, and then you can at the end sign in. Maybe just a little about what we can see here. So on the left you have a list of the repositories. So I mean, I would say you will have a no repository when you are new here. But if you wanted to generate a new repository, you can click on this. I would not click on this yet right now. I just show it, for example, for one of my repository, which is called test. And here I have, for example, I can see what I have here. For example, it says that I have two branches. The list of branches I can see here, main and the blah branch. Yeah, very good naming. And it says that, for example, in main branch, I have one commit. What about the blah branch? I have 4 commits. Let's look at these commits. So you can see here I have different commits, and it says the same thing that we had it also in the Git. Maybe like if I click on each of them, you will see it says that okay, what has changed, and also the explanation or the commit message that we had before. There are some additional features in the GitHub, which is more about when you have a project, which there are several collaborators to the project. I would say that I would not go through them. Please let me know in the comments if you are interested, then we can also try to have some examples of them and then we can play with them, play around with them. So the first step I would say is that let's start, and then from the GitHub, when we wanted to have a repository, we can start with the new and then generate a new repository. I would call it like, for example, test. Yeah, I have the name of the test, so I would say test 4. I think test 4, no, test 4 is not possible. Maybe test 5. Yeah, so then this name is possible. So it's an example to be connected to local repository. And it says that if you wanted to have a public, so everyone can see it, private, and then you choose that who should be connected. You can have an add readme file here, which I would not add it. Also, I will keep it public, and there is a git ignore. I can tell about this later. So, but generally, is that then here you can say that what type of files you do not want to be considered for the committing and then like bringing to the repository, so to track the version of that files. But I think again it would be a little further after the being started with the Git and GitHub, and also the license. I think for now it's okay that we don't also choose any license. So we can create our repository. Here it is, starting the repository. Something which is important, there is 2 addresses, which is in the, like basically gives the address to this repository for everybody who wants to connect to that. This is HTTPS here and also SSH. I mean, I like to work with the SSH. With this button, you can copy this address. Anytime you have a possibility to have the README license or the Git ignore to be changed, here also gives some very, I would say, handy list of the commands that you can use. For example, if you wanted to, for example, do the first commit here, you can add the file and then commit it here. You can change the name of the branch to main, and so these things, this I would say this you need to do in your computer and the terminal. Then by this you basically add your local repository here to the GitHub, and here you push it basically. Sorry, by this you will somehow give the name of your GitHub here in the on the web, the origin. So origin is basically a name of this, and then by push basically you put your local repository to the origin, which is basically the repository on the web. There is also a possibility that you can again do the same thing, but when you have a available repository in local. So here it says that when you wanted to generate a new one, and then as an example to generate a README file and then use that as the first commit and then do this. But if you have already a repository, you can already do this, which we will go for the second option. So I think for now the first part is done. Let's go for the second part, which is connecting the local repository to the GitHub repository. So for this, we need to first generate an SSH key. I tell you why we need to do that. Then we need to add this SSH key to the GitHub account, and also we need to generate an access token and save it somewhere in your local memory or local computer. So when you want to connect to the GitHub, as we had this hint or comment from the GitHub. So first we need to name the repository which we have generated in the GitHub, which is this is the address of this, and we call it origin. So I will copy this and I paste it here. So I am in our repository, which we have prepared later, and I in the branch master. I would like to, maybe for now, I will just only push this branch. So let's paste it here. So what does it do? It call this GitHub repository the origin, and it seems it's working, no problem. The second part is that to change the name of the branch that we are working right now to main, and then it wants to push this main to this. But I will skip this second part because I don't want to change my master branch name, and I will continue with the third command, which basically is pushing what I have here as a repository, but which basically has the master. So what does this command means? It says that push the master branch which I have locally to the origin. Origin is this address. Let's see how it works. Yeah, it seems it was successful. So it seems that everything is done. Let's look at here. I will go to the test 5. Yes, I just click it and it's updated, and you can see that I have all the files here. now I have one branch, and the branch name is master, and I have 3 commits, and these commits are the commits which I had done locally. So it works, but always is not as easy as you see, because I have already had some setting before which you need to do, and these settings I have explained here, and I would like to go through them together with you. For this, you need to maybe read some help files and so on, which I would somehow make it a little easier for you. The first step is that to generate an SSH key. To have the SSH key, the point is that when you wanted to push a repository locally to the GitHub, you need to give your credential, and then to make sure that you are allowed to add some files to the GitHub repository. And for this, before it was like that, you give the username and the password which you have in the GitHub here after applying this push command, and then it was done. But after some years ago, I think, or I don't know when, they have changed this, and for this you need to have a SSH key, and this should be in your local repository as well as in your GitHub, and then when they are connected, then it will be automatically done. So let's do it like this. Like what we need to do, first step is that to go to the setting, and in the setting you can go to the SSH and the CGP. So you see here I have keys here already, and these keys I have generated before, and I have used them for my credentials. So the question is that how to do this. Here is the link that how to go there. So let's do this. I would go directly to the generating a new SSH key and adding it to the SSH agent. I would say let's start with this. So we will go in these steps here. First is to open the terminal. Okay, then SSH key. This is the command that we need to. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm generating a third key, just for example. But I think it's not a problem. We can do it. So let's start with this command, which I need to give my email here. And this is an algorithm. Just for your information, this is an algorithm that generates some hash reference numbers, which basically is the password I would call that somehow connect the local repository to the GitHub repository. So here it says that where do you want to somehow save your hash reference file. So basically it wants to generate a file here in this path of your computer, which you need to keep it like this, and this is the name of the file which you which will be called. I would like to change the name. Just oops, sorry, I did something wrong. I would like to change the name of the file, and I changed it to the third key. I mean, you can change it anything. I mean, you can use this name once, and I think I have used it already, so you should change the name to anything else, but no, I mean, not a big issue. Here is also a passphrase. This passphrase I didn't use. It's for additional somehow security. I don't want to use it, so I just click on enter, and that's it. So this is the hash reference file, reference number, where we can see it. Exactly, this is the place that you can see it, but let's go in this folder to see that how does it look like. And let's look. So here it is. These are the keys that I have already, and the third key is here. Maybe let's look at what is inside this third one. Okay, this is this. So this is basically the SSH key, which, as you can see, it started with SSH, and this is the algorithm which generated this. I think it's a hash key. I can tell. I mean, I don't know anymore. I mean, if you are interested, I can read about it and make a video out of this. So yeah, feel free to write some comment. So let's go back to our repository. Now we have the key. The second, so here it says that it's generated and so on. Okay, and now we have to add this SSH key to our agent. I think it's already we know it already, so we need to use this SSH dash add, which I think it's this one. Oops, sorry. I would just like to do this SSH dash add and the path to the file that we have here and third key. Okay, this is also already added. Now, the next step is that to add these also to our GitHub. Let's go there. Again here, let's say new one, and I would call it again third key. So here, so we generated the key in our local repository. Now I want to generate the same one here also in my GitHub to make sure that we are connected. Again, I will open the file which I call it as my key. Oops, no, it's not the one that I wanted to open. It should be with extension pub. Yeah. So this path, this text is the key, and now I will open this in here. I will add it here as my so just for you see that it says that begins with SSH RSA or some other versions of this, which we have this version SSH ed and so on, which is one of the algorithms. So that is also our key. The third step is that to add a token. So the third step is that this, and so for this we should again come to the setting, which I am already here, and then go to the developer setting. There are two types of tokens, which seems that the fine grain, which is in the beta version, is more secure. So I use this one. I have already one token. I would like to generate another one. Tokens has, again, I would say the third key token. 30 days, and description, I would say it's nothing to add. It's public, and I mean, you can change the expiration, so this token will change, and then it's just for, as I said, for the security, and that's it. I mean, the point here with the token is that here you will see this value, and this is the last time that you will see it. So it's better that you copy it and then you save it somewhere. For yourself, I would say that I will generate a file in my maybe here, touch third key token, and I think it's in the, and I will save it here for myself for later, just to make sure that I am copying the proper, because it does not look like that it is this, but it was. So yeah, that's it. So now we are done with the somehow connecting our local repository to the GitHub. So let's try something else. What we would do, we would go again to our repository here. We have our files here. I would like to add another file, which I call it chapter4.txt. Yeah, it's not the proper name, but anyhow, now I have this file, and I would like to add this in, and then I would git commit. We already know about this. Fourth commit to be pushed to GitHub repo. Okay, and now let's look at the git log. Master or the head is that the fourth commit is here. It's a thing, but also you can see this origin master, or origin is the one which we have in the GitHub, and the master branch of that is one commit behind what we are here. So what do we want to do? We want to do this push again, which was git push, if I'm not mistaken, -u origin and master. Let's see. Yeah, it seems that it was successful. Let's look at our repository. Test4 was our repository here. Am I right? Yes, it should be. It seems some things I did wrong. Test 5 maybe. Yeah, it was test 5. Sorry, I just mixed them. And you can see here I have here already this file chapter 4-txt, and I have my updated commit, the fourth commit to push to the GitHub repository. So by this, we already passed the next step, which is pushing local repository to the GitHub, get remote add origin, and this is the one that basically is the path to our repository in the GitHub, and then git push, and then it's -u. I have forgot it. Origin to the master to the origin. Okay, then the last part of the video is cloning from the GitHub repository. Let's say what our scenario is like this, that we are in our computer and we don't have any repository and something, and we have seen that there is a very cool repository which is also public here in the GitHub, which is this one, and we would like to copy it in our local repository or in our local folders to be able to play with that, run it, I don't know, to do some changes maybe later, and then also maybe push it back here to the online version. So how can we somehow download these files or this whole package of this repository to our local one? It's very simple. It's called cloning, and what we do is that the first thing is that we should somehow find that what is the address of this one. So for finding the address, which basically is the somehow gives the address to this one, we should go to the code, and then, as I said, there are, I mean, basically 3 of them. I think it's a new version, this GitHub CLI. I would like to work with the SSH, and let's copy this. We will copy it, and then easily we go here, and then we say that git clone and the path which we have copied. So it's cloning, and let's see. So when we do, we see that we have a new folder, we call it test5, and let's look inside that. We see that this is the test5, and also we can take a look on the git log. You see that we have everything like the commit here, and it says that we are in the master. The origin has the master, and the origin is also head. So it somehow says that what here is here. I think that somehow it for today. So I have everything which I wanted to talk about, already have talked about, and I think that's it. So thank you very much for your for watching my videos. Please let me know what you think about my videos. If there is any suggestion for any further videos, any question and so on, please leave a comment. And yeah, till the next video. Bye bye.